Hello, good day. Welcome to today's class. Today, what we are going to look at is relative importance index. Some studies put it as relative importance indexes. The index and the indices, or whatever you want to put it, has to do with how they are used in singular terms and plural terms. So today I'm going to take you through the part one. And then another time when I come your way, I'll take you through relative importance index part 2. So this is a statistical tool which will help you to analyze your statistical data. Relative importance index is very important to help you to know the level of importance of your issues that you are dealing with, especially when you use a survey data from questionnaire. It will be good you just check how important the respondents have rated the various issues that you are dealing with. So if you check my other videos, I have a lecture on how to go about developing a questionnaire, how to come about getting a link, an online link that you can share with your potential respondents who will help you to respond to your questionnaire. And through their responses, you can gather data that will help you to do your data analysis. So if you want to check this one out, check my other videos, especially the video I've entitled Google Forms for Survey. Just check it out and you will get to know this. Okay, so without wasting much time, what I'm going to do is that I'll just go straight into it. So relative importance index. The question that somebody will ask is, why do I need to use relative importance index for my analysis? So if you are dealing with a large number of variables, factors here can also be termed as variables. Variables here can also be statements, or it can also be termed as issues. It can also be termed as indicators. It can be termed as measures. It depends on what you are looking at. So the relative importance index will essentially help you to rank these factors, this large number of factors that you are dealing with, based on their relative importance as perceived by the respondents in a study or analysis. Okay, so based on how the respondents see a particular variable, you'll be able to determine whether that particular variable is important or not, or whether other variables are important and the rate at which they have been ranked as important, as in order, like this one is first, this one is second, this one is third, and all that. That means relative importance index is very important when you are dealing with ordinal data. Ordinal data scale, that's another thing for another day. Yeah, but if you want to read more about it, just check the scales that we have. We have the ratio scale, we have the ordinal scale, we have the nominal scale, and then we have the interval scale. Just check them out. Good. So that is what it will help you to know. Then the second one is it determines the comparative significance of different factors within a set. So if you have a set of variables within a group, you can also determine the one which will rank as the most important one, followed by others. Then we have the third reason for using relative importance index as a tool that will help you to prioritize factors that have the most impact or influence in a given outcome. So in summary, all the three, they go together. All the three reasons here, they go together. Okay, good. So the next question then is, how do I compute relative importance index after I have collected my survey data? That's the most important question that I think all of us are thinking about. So let's go straight into the formula. And this formula that I'm going to show you, I have just designed this formula based on a number of literature reviews I've done. And when I say literature review, I'm talking about a number of papers I have read and how the scholars, the scientists use the formulas to come about their relative importance indexes. So my formula that I'm going to show you is based on that. It's not something that I have just manufactured or it's something that I have just formulated by myself. No, this formula I'm going to show you is based on existing literature. So let's go straight into that and look at the relative importance index formula. So this is how the formula looks like. If you can see my screen, so the relative importance index, if you look at the numerator, the one which is at the top, the numerator here represents, it depends on the scale, the Likert scale. So once again, if you watch my video on the Google Forms for survey, I told you that we have different points on the Likert scale from 0 to 10 or from 1 to 9. In this context, I've decided to use 1 to 5. Okay, good. So 1 to 5. So if I take a variable, if I take a factor and I want to know how the respondents think about that factor, what I need to do is that I need to know how the respondents responded. How many respondents responded or ticked the various items on the Likert scale. And normally the various items on the Likert scale, it depends on the scale that you are using, but in most cases, you see 1 to be strongly disagree, 2 to be disagree, 3 to be neutral, 4 to be agree, and then 5 to be strongly agree. Okay, so then in the numerator, the 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the one that you see here represents the point on the Likert scale of 1 to 5, and they all have meanings. It could be strongly disagree. It depends on how you want to go about it, because different scholars have a way of naming their point on the Likert scale. And then good. Then the LN5 that you can see from here, the LN5 here represents, so the LN, in my formula, or the formula I have formulated, the LN represents the total number of respondents, who ticked 5 on one particular factor or variable. If you see, if you look at LN4 is the same. So that means LN5, that means how many people ticked strongly agree. LN4 means how many people ticked agree. LN3 means how many people, you want to know the number of people who ticked neutral for that particular factor. LN2 represents the total number of respondents who ticked number 2, which is disagree. And then LN1 means those who ticked strongly disagree. Is that okay? Good. So that's what the numerator represents. Now let's come to the denominator. The denominator here, in my context, the HL, the denominator, the HL represents the highest point on the Likert scale. So if we are using a Likert scale of 1 to 9, then that means the highest point will be 9. If you are using a Likert scale of 1 to 7, that means the highest point on it will be 7. But in my case, or in this case, in this formula, I am using a Likert scale of 1 to 5. That means my highest point on the Likert scale is 5. So HL here represent the highest point on the Likert scale. What about the AR? The AR here represents the total number of respondents. In other words, the number of people that you were able to reach out based on your survey. So for example, maybe you distributed a survey, you shared the link, and out of the people that you share the link with, let's assume 250. It's just something I'm sharing. Just assume 250. 250 responded, or 300 responded, or 500 responded, or 1,000 responded. Then that means the AR here will be 1,000. So if you are going to get the denominator, the one below this line, that means you multiply the highest point on the Likert scale by the total number of respondents to your survey. I hope this is understood. Okay, good. So because we have this, then now our work is easy. We can go straight to the point and look at some examples and then work on them. So I'm going to look for some examples, and then we just work on the examples. So I'm just going to, okay, good. So if you remember, once again, you can go back and refer to my video on Google Forms for survey. Within that video, I shared an article with you that, let's assume that you have extracted 15 risks on AI based on an article published by Forbes magazine. So I'm going to quickly try and get that for us so that "15 risks on AI" from the Forbes magazine. If you check my video, I have that, but I just quickly want you to. So these are the 15 risks I extracted. But when you are doing your work, it's possible you may get more than that. So just check it out. Okay, good. Now let's go back. So I have this. So let's assume that I have distributed my survey, and then 150 respondents responded to my survey. And this is how they responded to each of the risk on AI. So if I take a risk like lack of transparency, 2 people responded by saying that they strongly disagree. They think that lack of transparency is not really a risk of AI. 13 people said they disagree. And then 28 people responded by saying that they are neutral. And then 50 people responded by saying that, yes, they agree that lack of transparency is a risk on artificial intelligence. And then 57 people responded that they strongly agree that lack of transparency is a major risk on AI. And if you check all the other risks, you can see I've done the same. So the total number of respondents from my survey was 150. That's why you can see all the 150 here. Good. Now let's come to the computation of our relative importance index. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to just copy this and then bring it here. Let me make it a little bit smaller. I can even do it the other way, but any of them is fine, so that we can all see. Check whether I hit this side. Okay. Any of them. Yeah. Okay, any of them will do. So let me put it down as I've put it down there. So what do I do? So what I have to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Okay. And I hope you know what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 represent. The 1, 2, 3 represent the strongly disagree, the disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree on the Likert scale. Great. Now, according to our formula, the formula says that, so we are dealing with the numerator, the one at the top. It says that we have to multiply 5 by all the respondents who ticked strongly agree. We have to multiply 5 by that. And we have to multiply 4 by all the people who ticked agree. 3 by neutral, 2 by disagree, and then 1 by strongly disagree. So that's what I'm going to do. So watch me. So when I come to 5 and I pick lack of transparency, I'll just click on the equal sign, then just pick this one, 5, then multiply by what? By 5, based on the numerator, 5. Okay, so once I have this, I can do the same thing for all the other ones. All the other ones. Yeah, I would like to, let me make them. Let me try as much as possible. Center all of them. Put them at the center. Okay, so I have all my 5. Each of them has been multiplied by 5, as you can see, showing here. Each of them multiplied by 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Now let me come to 4. So 4, when I go back once again to lack of transparency, I'll pick on 50. So 50 people ticked that they agree that lack of transparency is an AI risk. Then I will multiply this just by 4. So 50 by 4 is 200. And I'll do the same thing for all the other 14 risk. Great. Now I come to 3, which is neutral. Neutral to, I just come back to the lack of transparency. I just click on 28. Then I'll multiply by 3 equal sign. And it will go, is giving me 84. And this 84, I can do the same thing for all the other 14 risk. Now I come to 2. The 2, I go back to lack of transparency. I just pick my 13. 13 people responded that they disagree with the notion or the assertion that the lack of transparency is an AI risk. So I multiply this by 2, and this 2, I come down. Now I come to 1. So 1, the same. I just pick the number of 2 times 1. And then I will just, okay. So for the sake of making it a little bit different, let me bolden this so that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, they represent the point on the Likert scale. So I have all these things. So what do I do next? The next thing to do is to sum them up. Yeah, because if you saw the formula said plus. After we have multiplied them, we have to add. So when you multiply this to this, you have to add this to this, and you have to add this to that. So you have to add. So we have to sum them up. So I'm going to sum them up. So sum, let me put here sum. So sum means I'll pick the 2 plus 26 plus 84 plus 200 plus this one. So I get my 594. And I can do the same. I can just put it here. Just drag it down, and it will do the same for all the other ones. So I have my sum. In other words, I now have my numerator. Okay, so the numerator has now been what? Computed. Now it left with the denominator. It left with the denominator. So let's go back to the formula again. According to the formula, the denominator is the highest point on the Likert scale times the total number of respondents. So how do we get that? So we are dealing with the denominator now. How do we get that? So with respect to the total number of respondents, we all know that they are 150 from here. The total respondent from this section. So they are 150. So you can copy the same thing and bring them here. Copy and bring it. Copy the same thing and bring it here. Did I add something? Oh, yeah, I made a mistake. Something. It is a mistake. Let me. Some. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. You just type equal sign, then you just type 150. And this 150, you just drag the same thing down, and it will give you a copy everything for you 150, the same. Or you can just enter them one by one, 150, 150, 150, 150. So we have the total number of respondents. Now we have to put in the HL. The HL is what? It's 5. Okay, that's the highest point. And this 5, you have to do the same thing for all of them. I actually don't need to do this, but I'm just doing it to help you out. Now, the denominator, according to the formula, is HL times what? The AR, which is the highest point on the Likert scale times the total number of respondents. That means this total number of respondents times the highest point on the Likert scale, which is 5. So you do the same, and then you just copy the same thing for that. So this will give me my denominator. So I have my denominator and I have my numerator. So what do we do? Very simple. Therefore, to get the RII, which is the relative importance index based on the formula given, I'll just divide my numerator by my denominator, right? So let's go back and look at the formula again. So I'll just divide my numerator, the total that I get from my numerator, by the denominator. Very simple. So that means if I take the first risk, which is the lack of transparency, I'll just take the numerator, then divide it by the denominator. Oh, it's in the wrong cell. Do it again. So it's this divided by this, and that will give you that. Okay. So yeah. So now I have all my things done. You can decide to look at the decimals. Okay. Or you can leave it as it is. No. You can look at the decimals, or you can leave it as it is, and then you just rank. You do the ranking. Yeah, so let me leave it this way. Now that this one is done, I have this resource. Now I can just do the final ranking. So this is where the ranking will come in. And how do you do the ranking? Very simple. So you just look at the highest. Before I do the ranking, there are some studies that multiply the RII in decimals. They turn them into percentage. If you want to turn them into percentage, so if I want to turn this into percentage, then all that I have to do is that I just have to multiply each of the results by 100. That's all that you have to do. So even in case I want to turn them into percentages, that's what I have to do. Very simple. Okay, yeah. Now let me come to the ranking. This is the most important thing, which is the last stage which you have to do. So the ranking, you just look at the one which is the highest. So which one is the highest based on the scores here? I will pick this one as the highest, followed by number 2, followed by number 3. We have number 4. Then we have number 5. Yeah, number 5. It seems we are having two numbers. Oh no, we have number 5 here rather. Number 5. And this is number 5. Any other? Then number 6. We have two number 6. That means we'll jump to 8. So number 8. Oh, there's one I skipped. There's one I skipped. So let me go back. That means this will be number 5, rather. Number 4. Okay, number 2. Number 2. Number 3. 1. 1. 2. 3. 4. So this will be number 4. And then number 5. 6. 7. 2 7s. 7 9. So 2 7 9. 9. 10. 11. This will be 11. And this will be 12. This will be, no, 75. So this will be 11 rather. I mean, this is 11. And this will be 12. And this will be 13. 13. 14. And then 15. Good. So I've ranked. Okay. In other words, what you can also do is you can just copy all these things and go and put them somewhere. And then just do the ranking. That will also work instead of doing it step by step. Yeah. So, yes. So based on what I'm seeing here, it seems the most important risk, that I'm seeing here is the issue of misinformation and manipulation when it comes to AI. That is what, according to respondents, is the most important risk that must be dealt with. This is followed by the second one, which is legal and regulatory challenges. Legal and regulatory challenges. So that becomes the next one. Then number 3 is unintended consequences. It's also another one, and so forth and so forth. So when you are explaining, you have to explain according to how the respondents have rated it, and also according to the results that you have from the relative importance index. Thank you very much. I hope this is very helpful. And I guess if you follow this, you will be able to come up with a very fantastic computation for your research work. Next time, I'll come your way with the second part of the relative importance index. So I'm so grateful for you taking your time and watching this video. I will encourage you to subscribe to the video and also share it with your friends. And also not just only share, I encourage you to make sure you apply these things to your research work. If you don't apply them, it's going to just be something that you listen, you watch, and they will just vanish. No, please make sure you look at them. Okay, in my next video, what I'm going to do is that I will show you some articles that they have applied the same relative importance index to get very important results that they use in their research article. And those research articles have been cited a lot. That means people are really reading and following what people have done. So thank you very much once again for your time, and see you soon. Bye.